Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. So Marvel is going to be previewing Avengers 2 Age of Ultron at Comic-Con. I wanted to do a video explaining the vision. They also just screened a bunch of unfinished footage for an audience in London, so I'm going to do a breakdown of what that was. For a lot of you comic book readers out there, yes, they are changing the origin story of the Vision, just like the Ultron character, but hey, they just announced they're making Thor a female, so it's just another day in the Marvel Universe. Hello to any new people. If you're finding me for the first time, I do Marvel videos every week. Be sure to subscribe to get everything. Lots of awesome Comic-Con stuff planned. I'm going to be recording the panel, so I'll talk about that at the end of this video. So let's just start with the footage they screened, then I'll explain how the movie is going to treat the Vision. So it was all unfinished footage. It was just capture that had been edited down. They showed off the Hulkbuster armor, way bigger than the Igor suit we saw in Iron Man 3. It's the customary red and gold colors though. Size-wise, it's about the same size as the Hulk. In the comics, it always seemed way bigger, but Mark Ruffalo's version of the character is way shrunk down from Ang Lee's version and the Edward Norton version. It's like each time they do a new Hulk movie, the Hulk gets a little bit smaller. There was also a bunch of Scarlet Witch Quicksilver stuff. They were seen inside these clear Perspex prison cells, like basically clear plastic cells. Then we saw some fight scenes alongside Hawkeye, like the images we saw from the set earlier this year. There was also a little bit of them using their powers, but remember, they did not have special effects on the footage. Quicksilver was running, but, because no special effects, it looked more like he was jogging, and Scarlet Witch just, floating blocks. The really cool thing, though, was they showed off the Avengers Tower. It looks a lot like the interior of the S.H.I.E.L.D. helicarrier. Bruce Banner and Tony Stark each have twin labs next to each other, so they can make all of the science. Then there's a hangar bay for the Quinjet, which will be in the movie, and all the Avengers have sleeping quarters. So I'm assuming that everyone besides Thor, all the Earth-based superheroes, have homes elsewhere. They'll just be bunking at the Avengers Tower during the course of the movie. If you didn't hear earlier this year, it's been explained that Thor has been living on Earth since the events of Dark World. Presumably, the movie's going to explain why. I know the end of Dark World was a little confusing with the way it left the characters. I know it doesn't sound like a ton of footage, and everyone's expecting the Comic-Con trailer they're going to bring to be an order of magnitude cooler, with finished special effects. It won't be like a full-on trailer, but it will be a promo reel. I will be doing a full breakdown of that and uploading the panel footage. That's happening Saturday night, July 26th. I probably won't be able to upload videos each night till super late, but I'll be tweeting the shit out of the panels. There are a few movies that Marvel is not taking to Comic-Con, like Guardians of the Galaxy, but aside from Avengers 2, the cast of Ant-Man's going to be there, and Marvel is going to reveal the complete slate of Phase 3 films. So now let's talk about the Vision, the character that Paul Bettany is playing in the movie. They're basically changing the backstory, just like they did with the Ultron character, to fit within the movie canon that they've already created. Here's a quick history lesson. The Vision was created by Ultron, originally in the comics, using the remains of the original Human Torch android. I know everyone thinks of Johnny Storm as the Human Torch, but before him, an android named Jim Hammond used the mantle during World War II to fight Hitler and the Axis powers. That version of the character was actually one of Marvel's very first superheroes. He's super old. Ultron reprogrammed him to fight the Avengers. That first happened in the late 1960s. Ultron programmed the Vision with the neural patterns of Wonder Man so that he could infiltrate the Avengers. He also embedded a failsafe device in the Vision called a control crystal, like an override switch. So the Janet Van Dyne Wasp is actually the person who gave him his Vision name. The Wasp called him an unearthly, inhuman Vision, and thus the name Vision was born. So already, you see they're going to have to make some changes to his origin story in the movie just because we don't have the Wasp. Vision ended up sympathizing with the Avengers and helped them defeat Ultron. I feel like some of the details of the character everyone knows, like he ended up getting married to Scarlet Witch at one point. Eventually, that failsafe device that Ultron embedded in him malfunctioned, and he went nuts trying to make the world perfect. He fixed the problem, but the military deemed him a huge security threat. And then many years later, Scarlet Witch lost her mind and did the whole No More Mutants thing, setting off the House of M storyline. That was basically when the Vision got torn apart and thrown in a closet. Eventually, they brought him back for the Mighty Avengers storyline, and most recently, he's been a big part of Avengers AI. If you remember, Mighty Avengers is actually rumored to be the inspiration for the story in Avengers 2, so you should all reread that book. The interesting thing about the Vision is that he is an android, but he develops very human connections to people. He even had romantic relationships with Scarlet Witch and later with Cassandra Lang. She's actually the daughter of the Scott Lang Ant-Man, the one that Paul Rudd is playing in the Ant-Man movie. Small world. So regardless of what Avengers 2 does with the character and how his story plays out, The core of the character will remain, him forming very human attachments to the other Avengers and joining the team eventually. I'm really hoping that he survives the end of the movie and makes it into Avengers 3 and some of the spin-offs too. They probably signed Paul Bettany to some crazy Sam Jackson long contract. For those that don't know, typically a Marvel contract is like a 6-picture deal. Like they can put you in any 6 movies they want. They just call you up and say, hey, you have to be in this movie. Samuel Jackson's contract had extra movies on top of that because he had to be in all those extra movies. But the next big question is what is Avengers 2 going to change about the Vision character? Mostly his origin story. The outcome's going to be the same. He'll be an Avenger eventually. The difference is, I think he's going to be based on Stark tech created to fight Ultron instead of created by Ultron to fight the Avengers. There have been a couple things that confirm this theory, mostly that Paul Bettany was cast as the Vision, and he's going to be like full-on Paul Bettany in the movie, like his body will be used, it won't just be his voice. The Vision's going to be a combination of practical effects and motion capture, just like Ultron. One thing I'm really curious about though is which character they let name him, like if it's going to be Tony Stark or it's going to be some twist on the original Wasp line. And speaking of motion capture, did you know that Andy Serkis has a role in the movie? A motion capture role, that is. They haven't revealed who he's playing other than to say that it's not Thanos. But if Paul Bettany's doing the Vision and James Spader is doing Ultron, who could Andy Serkis be playing? My thoughts is that Joss Whedon is going to secretly tease a character that's going to be a bigger part of Avengers 3. It's going to be like a character that we did not know was going to be in Avengers 2. When Whedon talked about the first Avengers movie, he said that when he was just doing initial talks to join the project before they ever shot the film or did the script, he told them that they'd have to let him use Ultron at some point. So if he was thinking Ultron that early in the game, I'm really curious to see who he's got in his back pocket right now. In addition to that super secret part Andy Serkis is playing, he's also a motion capture consultant for the movie in general. So he helps Mark Ruffalo do a better Hulk, and he's going to help Paul Bettany and James Spader do their characters too. Josh Brolin may do a few days on the film. He's rumored to have a small cameo in Avengers 2, but when they cast him in Guardians of the Galaxy, they'd already shot all the Thanos stuff, so he's just doing the voice in that movie. But let me know, who do you think that Andy Serkis is playing in Avengers 2? And do you care that they're changing a lot of the characters' backstories like Ultron and the Vision? I'm a huge Whedon fan, so I totally don't mind whatever he wants to change. I've just learned to trust him and roll with it. And I'd be totally cool if Andy Serkis just played all the motion capture characters. I wonder what that movie would look like. So I'll be posting at least one more Marvel bonus video before Comic-Con starts. Be sure to subscribe to get it. I'll try to post it by next Tuesday, but I'll explain the special Marvel giveaway that I'm going to be doing. It's going to be fun. I'm doing a whole bunch of giveaways that week. And don't worry, if you can't go to Comic-Con, I'll be uploading a bunch of the panels, so you'll still be able to see a lot of it. Right now, click here to learn all about the female Thor, and click here to get my review of the Guardians of the Galaxy IMAX footage. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow. High fives.